recognize this one. Great intro. This is, of course, Bus Stop by the Hollies. It was kind of their first hit here in the United States, or the first kind of helped break them out in 1966. But they'd had quite a string of hits for a couple of years going on in England. So this was about their fourth, fifth, sixth album over there. But really, really broke them big. I remember this as a kid and just being knocked out by it. Great rhythm to the words, great lyrics, paint a great picture, and really cool intro. Very simple strumming song in a lot of respects, and then a cool little lead in there. So in this lesson we're going to talk about all of that stuff, including the double lead, where it's kind of done in a round. So the song was written by Graham Gouldman, who was a very prolific songwriter in England back in those days. Wrote some hits for Herman's Hermits, No Milk Today. Anyway, had a big string of songs being done by various bands, and then he would frequently back them up, and went on, well, was in 10cc and performed. They continued to perform a lot of his songs. So if you're not familiar with him, you should be. Great songwriter. And actually wrote quite a few tunes for the Hollies as well. Now they started writing a lot of their own songs, of course. Graham Nash and Tony Hicks and Alan Clark were the main kind of songwriting team of the Hollies in these early days. By 1970 there was some upheaval sort of in the band, and they went off kind of different ways. But, well, some of them did. Alan and Graham had left a little before then. So, Graham first, then Alan. But anyway, what we're going to learn in this song is the chord progression. It makes just a great strumming and singing song. You don't have to have any of the fancy stuff in there. And we will talk about the intro. I'll show you real quick what's happening in the intro when they do it with two guitars. You may see there's a video floating around at YouTube of them, of four of them sitting on a couch from a BBC breakfast show. And they do a very short version of this. But you can get the feel for what you can do with two guitars in it. You would start the introduction with an A minor and just kind of pound on the bass notes and then change the bass to B. So that's the main thing that's happening in the intro, rhythm guitar wise. Lead guitar wise, what you need is this melody. Whoa. And now that melody is played with an A minor chord up at the 5th fret. So like a 3-string bar at the 5th fret, and then the 4th string at the 7th fret would be a small A minor, the same A minor that starts off Stairway to Heaven. And the melody would go from C to B to A, to G, reaching the 8th fret of the 2nd string, and coming back to A. Then moving up a whole step, I would keep the bar on here, but then add your 4th finger at the 10th fret of the B string and hit the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings at the 9th fret, 7th fret, and 10th. And then that 10th, the note at the 10th, the A drops down to a G at the 8th. So there's what the lead part would be to play it by itself. Now, as this lesson goes on, though, we're going to break this down into all kinds of stuff. We'll look very in a very detailed manner at the chords, most of which are in the key of A minor and or E minor. So it kind of fluctuates keys a little bit. Goes through a couple of different keys at different times, and we'll talk about the strumming. Very kind of simple but sort of distinctive, working on focusing the bass notes. Now, it's not hitting the bass notes. It's not this. Although it could be. We want those bass notes a little softer. So we'll break that down and get through all that. So, coming up, and probably even a sing-along with this, and a play-along where you could play one of the leads. Anyway, coming up, a lesson on Bus Stop.